20 years ago, 5 young Irish lads got together to form a band. 25 million records later, they're still going strong. Tonight, they're performing their biggest hits and revealing all, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. This is Boyzone at 20, no matter what.
20 years of Boyzone. Absolutely incredible.
This year's Smash It Show on the Road Award winners.
The record of the year, 1998.
They're top of the pops.
Boyzone!
We've been through so much together. They are truly my brothers.
They say that I would make a mistake. Didn't they say you are gonna be trouble? People told me you were too much to take. I couldn't see it. I didn't wanna know. I let you in and you let me down. You messed me up and you turned my life around. Left me feeling I had nowhere to go. I was alone.
Remember your first major performance. It was the Smash Hits Party 1994.
Holy moly.
And is it strange, like 20 years later, you're still called Boyzone?
Yeah, it's a little...
The elephant in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? We're going to uncover everything tonight. I've been very thorough with my research. But I think it's only fitting we start at the very beginning.
5 of us were all Northside Dublin lads. So we all had, you know, working class families. You know, none of us had major money. We all came from very similar backgrounds.
We grew up in areas of Dublin that were tough. In fact, Stephen Gately was from a place called Sheriff Street. So I'd like to think that we were quite streetwise growing up.
Got kicked out of school at a relatively young age, and I went to work for my father as a car mechanic.
It was a very normal upbringing. It was a busy household with 7 children and my mother and father and the dog.
We mightn't have been very wealthy, but there was no shortage of love or affection in the households in which we grew up.
The first time that I heard about Boyzone was in the newspaper. There was a picture of Shane Lynch.
It was Shane's idea. Shane's and another friend of his idea to try and put together an Irish version of New Kids on the Block, or an Irish take that.
We went and we met Louis Walsh, and we told him our idea. So November 1993.
Shane was one of the founder members of Boyzone, so he was actually at the auditions. He was sitting in the room in the corner.
Ronan Keating and Stephen Gately and Mikey Graham and Keith Duffy all came in to audition.
He didn't say anything, he just sat there and he watched. I wonder, I don't know if I've ever asked him what he was thinking when I walked in.
And me sitting on the other side without a clue. I could play the Spanish for you all right, but that's about it.
It was a huge opportunity. We were nobodies. We had no career, we had nothing.
Louis Walsh said to us, the first thing you're going to do as a band is go on the Late Show tomorrow night.
Gonna be the new Irish pop group.
And how will you cope with autographs and screaming teenagers and all that?
Very well, very well.
I know it doesn't look like it, but that was choreographed. We planned that.
And maybe that clip was the making of us. I don't know.
My mum said to me, look, do it, you know, follow your dreams, but promise me if it all falls apart, you'll go back to school.
We start touring around Ireland then in a little transit van, making 30 quid each a gig.
We called it the window ledge tour, actually, because some of the stages were the width of a window ledge and we were, you know, up against the wall.
Hey everybody, how you doing? You know, great to see the 3 of you here.
When nobody else believed, Louis believed. So we owe him a lot for that.
We got a 1 single deal. I'll tell you the faith that the record company had in us.
I mean, it's typical boy band stuff, but there's a lot of joy in it.
And then the interest began to gather. Maybe, just maybe, these chancers might make it.
Really what changed everything was Louis getting us on the Smash Hits tour in the UK. That really, you know, that changed everything.
The brilliant Boyzone!
He absolutely nailed it. He got it right. He knew what we were about, and what we should sound like.
This is Louis Walsh.
Yes.
The famous Louis Walsh that you hear so much about.
So many fun moments there. For me, you guys were squirming a bit. Now, it all started from your idea, Shane. How does it feel to watch this video of everything you've created?
Do you know what? It's great. I think a lot of our families probably have those VCR type tapes of that back in the day, and it's nice to sit up here and actually watch it amongst our friends and a lot of our fans too, and to see our own reactions. And I think it's such a fabulous journey that we went on. Looking at that Late Show, how fantastic it was. You know, how innocent it was. Let me put it that way, how innocent it was, and to be able to grow from that point into one of the biggest bands that ever came out of Ireland. It's quite amazing. I'm delighted to watch that, I really am.
Oh, good. Well, you all look so young and innocent, and, you know, I was kind of wondering, were you really all mummy's boys back then?
Yeah, it wasn't our choice. You know what Irish mammies are like. They have to look after their boys, you know, so we just do what we're told, or we get a clip in the ear. That was the way it was.
But your bus kept travelling past your mum's house.
Yeah.
Because she was making you sausage sandwiches to take on tour.
Always the last stop on the road, you know what I mean? Heading out of Dublin. And we'd always have to pick him up last, and God bless her, she always had the sausage sandwiches ready for us, you know what I mean?
Times have changed a lot since you guys started as a band. Do you think, like with shows X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, if you were starting out today, would you make it?
You know, these are a fantastic platform for any young stars that are beginning out today. You know, it's incredible the amount of exposure you can get so quickly, you know, to propel your career.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, probably not.
I tried to divert away.
I saw that.
Now, Louis was instrumental in putting this together when you called him Shane. And what were those major things that he contributed to?
He wanted Boyzone to work, and he went far beyond what anyone, any manager would do at the beginning. He created stories. He would, knock on doors, was endlessly calling people, trying to create opportunities for the band. And he believed it when the rest of the country, and the press in the country were, having a laugh, because you saw that Late clip. I mean, we made a bunch of fools of ourselves, but Louis still believed in us after that and continued to fight. And
I mean, lately he's said some pretty harsh things in the press.
No.
Okay. About Shane, Keith and Mikey, he said the three talentless ones, and he called you all an ageing pop group.
Well, you
so
know what?
how do you react to that?
He probably has something there with the ageing pop-back thing. I mean,
We have a lot of respect for Louis. If he walked in here tonight, I know this is a surprise show, so I don't think he will.
well, now that you say it.
I could do nothing but hug the man. He's a fantastic guy, and he promised us the sun, moon and stars and gave it to us, so we can't knock him for that.
Yeah. Well, this is why you guys are so loved. You're so gracious, and the only comeback you can have to any comments like that is a 19-date arena tour, a new album, and a new single, and you're about to perform it. What's it called?
Can't wait. It's called Love Will Save the Day. Brand new single from the album.
The band are waiting for you. Still to come, we'll be finding out the truth behind the big breakup.
I hated Ronan Keating with a passion. Hated the boy.
And Melanie C will be joining the boys for a very special performance. But right now, with Love Will Save the Day, it's Boyzone.
Cheers to the broken hearts, to the ones that love, the ones that held the losing card. Here's to the sweet unknown, to the tales untold, let the night unfold and the stars above. Pass around the bottle and tell me your troubles. Sing la 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 la, we'll save the day. You pass around the bottle and I'll share your troubles. And la 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 la, we'll save the day. We're the undecided, we're the ones who try to find our way. Gonna burn the brightest, gonna watch the night go up in flames. sending my way when the going gets tough. Tough get going. I'm gonna get myself across the river. It's the price I'm willing to pay. I'm gonna make you stand and deliver and give it love in the old-fashioned way. I'll climb any mountain. I'll do anything. Ooh, can I touch you? Do the things that lovers do. Ooh, wanna hold you. I gotta get it through to you. Oh, 'cause when the going gets tough, when the going gets rough,
I'm gonna buy me a one-way ticket. Nothing's gonna hold me back. Your love's like a slow train coming. I feel it coming down the track.
I climb any mountain. I swim in a sea. I reach for the heaven with you loving me. Ooh, 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 come on. Ooh, can I touch you?
Can I touch you?
Do the things that lovers do.
Can I touch you?
Ooh, wanna hold you. I gotta get it through to you. When the going gets tough, when the going gets rough, going gets tough, when the going gets rough. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For the guys in the early days, but thankfully all the hard work paid off and they hit the big time. So let's take Boyzone back to the crazy years of Screaming Girls, number ones, huge arena tours, and even more Screaming Girls!
At the height of Boyzone's fame, it was absolutely incredible.
Such a whirlwind. At times you didn't even know where you were or what you were doing. It was crazy.
I enjoyed the attention. At 21, there's no doubt in the world that you're definitely going to.
I'm in one of the biggest bands in the world, and this is incredible.
Kids get hysterical. They scream and they go crazy and they run after you.
We were doing a TV show at the RTE studios in Dublin. We were told that we couldn't leave the building because word had gotten out that we were there.
There was hundreds of them, and they defaced RTE studios. The place was literally ransacked. That's when we started to feel like, hang on, this is working.
We became hungry for that number one slot.
I'd agree, but it's them, they know, not me now.
It took us a few years. In fact, it was 1996 when we got our first number one, and that was Words.
I remember that in particular being a momentous occasion for us. We were selling out like 9 nights in Wembley. Looking back now, even saying that, it was huge. That was massive.
Wave your hands in the air, sing along, or whatever you feel like doing.
And it just went crazy.
To say that you were in a video with U2, sat on the back of a horse and carriage with Bono just sat here, and just incredible.
Thank you to everybody who voted for us. This is an absolute amazing award. No matter what they tell you.
One of the main things that always stands out to me was a gig that we did with Pavarotti.
And I remember asking Ronan, who's this Luciano guy? And Ronan went, Luciano Pavarotti. And I thought, oh, I see. I thought his name was Pavarotti Smith.
just incredible, everything that you experienced.
The thing is, we never got to enjoy it because as soon as we finished that gig, we'd be on a plane, we'd be flying somewhere else, another city, another hotel, another airport hotel, whatever, and on to the next city. And so you never got to see this or look at it. When it was on TV, it was, we were in another country when it was happening. So it's great
actually
to
a lovely
look at
surprise
this.
for
Yeah,
us
that's nice to see
be
that,
able to look back and see those clips, And there was so much innocence involved, really, at that time, our whole perspective of what we were doing, what we were in. It was just this bubble, really, wasn't it?
Now, in my research, I obviously had to go through all of the photos, and being a lover of fashion, I thought we'd show those pivotal moments.
Ouch. Here we go.
Ronan, can you talk us through this one?
Oh.
I believe that was a safari tour.
Yeah, that was the African tour.
Next one, Keith, what's going on with this hair?
Hang on. No, I can't laugh. I really can't laugh, but that's funny.
I never had my hair like they're after superimposing that onto my head. That actually is not me at all.
You're most famous for wearing your suits, and there's one particular picture that everybody loves seeing.
Yeah, we're wearing them tonight, actually.
It was the 90s. It was Take That, and then you guys came along. And then 3 years later, there were 5 girls that got together to create a band, and it was the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of the girls?
We got on very well. We did a lot of touring together. We did a lot of festivals in Europe. But, I mean, they were a phenomenon. They were the biggest thing in the pop industry, bigger than any of the bands that we had seen, and, and went on to be, the biggest girl band in history.
Yeah. They were pretty naughty, though. Who was the naughtiest?
Ooh.
We were all young and having a bit of crack.
And we're foolish as well.
Well, let's hear the other side of the story. Please welcome Melanie C.
Hello.
It was a great time in pop music, wasn't it?
It was an amazing time. And I loved how you asked the boys about the Spice Girls. I was just stood just off there, so they couldn't say anything mean.
There was obviously a lot of competition between you guys. Mm-hmm. Who knocked who off the number one spot?
Now, here we go.
I don't think we remember that.
No.
OK, so our second single, Say You Be There, went straight in at number 1, knocking you guys off. Sorry.
Awkward.
In 1996. And also, our album Spice knocked you off in 96 as well. But
Double whammy.
what I will say is, they were there first.
There's a lot of good vibe going on, but I have to say, at the time, the boys got their own back. They did a little video, which you're going to see now.
If you want to be my
That's the way it is.
I have never seen that video before. I remember doing it. But I've never seen it before. Where's you've no tattoos? That's the strangest thing, is seeing you with no tattoos.
Well, that's all you said, and that wasn't the weirdest thing.
The outfits were fine.
Well, funnily enough, you guys have never performed together. I think tonight is the night for that to happen, so what would you like to sing for us?
Oh, well, I know the words to No Matter What.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Still to come tonight, more juicy revelations and more great music. But now, to spice up your life, here's Boyzone with Melanie C and their biggest selling hit, No Matter What.
That's all that matters now, no matter what. No, no matter what. No, no matter what. That's all that matters. No, no matter what. That's all that matters to me. No, no matter what. That's all that matters to me. No, no matter what. That's all that matters to me.
Welcome back. We're here tonight celebrating 20 years of Boyzone. Now, we've taken them back to the beginning and hitting the big time, but with huge success comes huge pressure, and like many big bands, you guys had your problems. Let's take a look at this.
As time went on, Stephen and I started to do a lot more of the lead vocals.
There was a little bit of tension caused in amongst the vocal side of things.
I just was never quite sure where I fit in.
Other people would have liked to contribute vocally to records a little bit more.
I think at times I felt lost in the band as to what role was I actually playing here, you know?
And it took a while to deal with the fact that, you know, you weren't one of the popular ones.
It's just amazing, really, being back here at the O2 in Dublin. Back in 2000, we played our last gig here.
We've come to the last song of the show, and myself and the lads have something to say.
Ronan was the one to break the news to the crowd.
Thank you so much for the last 6 years. It has been unbelievable.
I think it was a case of once he said it, and the fans were all a bit like, what do you mean you're breaking up at all?
We've all got some stuff to do on our own for a while.
It's a very emotionally charged gig.
Good luck, God bless you.
Ronan said that he wanted to take a break. At the time, I remember feeling this is crazy.
I have to kind of stand up for myself. If I'm being honest, I worked harder than anybody else in the band, and it was non-stop. That was part of the reason where I went, hang on a second, I'm gonna do this, lads, and I'm okay about it, because I've been doing it anyway. And I think the lads knew that, and I don't think we've ever actually openly said that to each other, but I guess I'm saying it now.
I wasn't very supportive of him. I can't say I thought, oh, well done, buddy.
It was supposed to be a year. That year became 6, 7 years.
I felt very lonely. I felt like I'd been left out in the desert to find my way home.
I do feel responsible for the band for the band breaking up.
I hated Ronan Keating with a passion. I hated the boy.
Say that
It's tough. You guys are absolutely like brothers, and that's the first time you've seen that footage and what you've probably wanted to say to each other for a long time.
We had no idea that Ronan was double jobbing at the time.
It's funny though, because sometimes you don't say things, but we are like brothers and we're that close. And yeah, like any family, we have our moments. We fight, we fall out.
But how does it feel hearing it? I mean, just the whole room changed when, Shane, for you, you put the band together, so it probably hit you the hardest.
I was in an angry place anyway, just towards the end of the 90s, so that was just the nail in the coffin to say, do you know what I mean, when Ro didn't want to get back together with us boys. But I got to see him one day. I heard he was doing a show. He was performing at this particular gig in the Royal Albert Hall. I said, you know what, I'm going to be there. And I was there in anger and then there with angry spirit. And I saw him before he went on stage, and do you know what? All I wanted to do was hug him because I missed him. Any hatred was gone. I just wanted to hug the boy and say, dude, please come back to us, you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot has happened, and it feels like as one door closed for you, particularly another one opened, and you discovered acting, and you're on one of the biggest, most loved shows ever.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, like, Coronation Street really saved me then.
because I was lost at the time. And I mean, I've always been very honest about it. My vocal ability is not as good as Ronan's. Or, what are you laughing?
So you've had your very bitter breakup, but let's find out how the impossible happened and you made amends.
2007, Mikey Graham went to see Take That in concert.
Something twigged inside of me that I thought, maybe it's time to make that call.
The few years that we had as a five-piece when we got back together were the best years of the band.
Boys are back in town.
We knew that it felt right to go forward.
Those years were magic. Back on the road again.
Our opening night of the tour, for the first tour back, we could just hear the roar of the audience that I hadn't heard for 8 years.
You know, we had the best time. God, I just wish we had more years together.
An enormously talented man with a kind and gentle soul. Some of the tributes to the Boyzone singer Stephen Gately, who has died suddenly at the age of just 33.
To lose Theo was the most devastating thing I've ever known.
Stephen lived to perform and truly loved being centre stage. You can be sure he's looking down on us now, wishing we'd move over so he could flash his smile for the cameras one more time.
When you lose someone in their prime at 33 years of age, that we don't have tools for.
I will learn to live before I die.
He loved being in Boyzone. He did. He loved it.
Nothing will ever be the same without our dearest friend, Stephen. Rest in peace, brother.
There was so much more he had to offer the world.
He was on fire. He was fitter than he'd ever been. He looked better than he ever looked. He was so happy, he was in love, and life was amazing. And that's one of the things that makes me angry.
Thank you very much for allowing us the time to pay tribute to our brother, the late, great Mr. Stephen Gately. Every time the band are together, it's a continual reminder that Stephen's not there.
Whether you can see him or not means nothing to us, but he's there for us.
It's obviously still so raw for you guys.
Yeah. It's raw in many ways, I guess. The one amazing thing we have, you know, is A, all the footage to look back on, but B, one reason why me and the boys like to get back together, as in why we like spending time with each other, because he's not distant from us at all. He's very much present when us four are together. His character, his ways, who he was, his sayings. The bubble of Boyzone consisted of 5, and it still does to us guys.
Yeah.
On the outside looking in, you see 4 guys standing there, but 4 lads are standing on stage, actually as 5, and we always will be.
He has such a major part in each of your hearts. What do you think he'd say tonight if he was here?
I hate that purple.
He'd be redecorating.
That's it.
It was always the life and the fun, and you know, kept you guys going through tough times. And I believe he had special names for you backstage.
Yeah, I mean, this was Rosaline. This is Michaela. And of course we have Shanice.
And down the end here we have Kitty.
You guys all play a major role in the band. It couldn't be the band without one of you. And Mikey, you've said that you felt like you didn't have a role to play in the band. But I just wanted to say that it was your phone call that brought all the boys back together. I have to say tonight has been so emotional. What are you going to perform tonight?
It was difficult trying to pick the songs, because there's been, so many years and so many songs. So we're going to do a blend of two of our favourites. We're going to pick Words and Father and Son. Stick them together.
Brilliant.
Smile, an everlasting smile. A smile can bring you near to me. Don't tell, but let me find you gone, 'cause that will bring a tear to me. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story now, my love. You think that I don't even mean a single word I say. It's only words, and words are all I have to take your heart away.
Come on, guys. Let's hear ya.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a girl, settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me, I'm old, but I'm happy. I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to be calm when you found something going on. But take your time, think a lot, think of everything you've got. For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? When I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go where I know I have to go.
You sheltered me from harm. You kept me warm. Kept me warm. You gave my life to me. You set me free. Set me free. The finest years I ever knew were all the years I had with you. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Just to have you back again. together, just to touch you once again.
That was amazing. 25 million records, 18 top 10s, 6 number ones, highs, lows, and highs again. I just want to say thank you for sharing it with us tonight. And is there anything that you'd like to say to your fans?
Honestly, without all these people here, it would be pointless. So thank you. Hopefully you'll keep on with us for the next few years to come. Thanks, guys, so much.
Well, you've created a big buzz in the room tonight, and there's time for one more song. So what do you want to sing?
We thought we'd wrap it up with the song that started everything. Love Me For a Reason.
It's Boyzone. Good night.
Thank you, Dannii. This one's for Steel.
Just a pastime for you, I could never be. And I never know, girl, if I should stay or go. 'Cause the games that you play keep driving me away. Don't love me for fine, girl, let me be the one. Love me for a reason, let the reason be love. Don't love me for fun, girl, let me be the one. Love me for a reason, let the reason be love. I'm just a little old-fashioned. It takes more than physical attraction. My initial reaction is, honey, give me love, not a facsimile of. Don't love me for fun, girl, let me be the one, girl. Love me for a reason, let the reason be love. Don't love me for fun, girl, let me be the one, girl. Love me for a reason, let the reason be love. Don't love me for fun, girl, let me be the one, girl. Love me for a reason, let the reason be love. Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
It's nearly Christmas, which can only mean the X Factor final. It's coming up this weekend, kicking off tomorrow at 8, live from Wembley Arena. After that, Jonathan Ross is joined by David Beckham and comedy actor Will Ferrell on his show at 10:05. And this Sunday evening, we've a very special Christmas dose of Keith Lemon's Through the Keyhole at 9:30. Next up on ITV, the news at 10.